What's that? 5:30, we'll call this meeting to order. Any adjustments to the agenda?
I don't think so.
I think we had one.
Karen, ask Karen. Karen, are you back yet?
Karen, we miss you.
Connecting to audio.
Karen, you there yet?
No, she's still connecting to audio. Run in there and ask her.
She had one, whether she still wants to go with that plan, so.
You would ask her?
Yeah, you better, because it'll affect the whole thing.
Sorry, folks. I do have one adjustment. I would like to do the executive session now,
Okay.
and then we can come out and then start regular business. Please.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go into executive session. 1 VSA 313, the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee, provided that the public body shall make a final decision to hire or appoint public officer, decision during this meeting. So, can I hear a motion to go into executive
So
session?
moved.
Friendly amendment, can you invite
Invite
We'll
Karen.
invite Karen, I guess.
the planning commission
planning
chairs,
commission
Sue Coakley and Roger.
Josias.
Okay.
So moved.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
And we're going to retreat to the listeners' room, please.
Executive session. And we have a motion.
I move to appoint Roger Josias as the Town of Putney zoning administrator for a period of 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Select board announcements. Anybody?
No, well, sort of, just a reminder that petitions for elected positions are due on the 26th, by 5 o'clock, due to the town clerk's office, by 5 o'clock on the 26th, which is, Monday.
Okay. Any public comments on items not on the agenda? All right. Approval of minutes of January 7th, 2026.
I move we approve the minutes of January 7, 2026 as drafted.
Second.
It's not working, Karen?
Yeah. Well, I'm really over this technology.
It's good overview. It's working.
Okay, is that gonna work?
No.
All right.
I was not here, so I'm not gonna.
Okay. Are we good with them?
Yes.
I'm good with them.
Do we have a second?
I
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
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 All right, warrants to the treasurer.
I make a motion to approve and execute the warrants to the treasurer upon petition of the
Second.
Karen.
Which one do you have first? The accounts payable
Accounts payable.
dated January 10th through January 23rd, 2026. in the amount of $115,434.24.
Karen, what were the electrical repairs? Yamston Electrical? Just
That was at the
curious.
library.
The new lights.
They have a plug that's in the floor that had to be fixed, some light bulbs that needed to be replaced, and I don't remember what else. Of course, I'm not gonna find the invoice on my lap like this.
That's okay, it's library related.
Yep. We had a big salt, more than one invoice for Cargill. And where is it? $17,910.99. Most of that salt's already been used. I was just in, yeah. So most of that salt's been used already, and Lenny Howard reported to me today that the trucking company that usually trucks the salt into our salt shed, there is no more right now. So there could be a potential problem with obtaining salt. We're not the only town. Dummerston actually, Barrett will be going out to New York to get a trailer truckload for Dummerston and one for Putney. And it will be up to $20 per ton more than what, that we're contracted right now for.
How many tons is that?
A tractor trailer load, I don't know. All I know is
Many.
It's a lot.
we contract for 450 tons. So the fact that, it's gonna be, I don't wanna think about it right now, but
As it's snowing.
like I told Lenny, I said, well, you better have a backup plan.
So is it that we've used up all that we contracted for, or is it they've run out?
They've run
Before
out.
we've got what we've contracted
Yes,
for?
yep.
We would just hibernate till spring and we'd be fine.
We'll just get you out there plowing, non-stop.
And salt only goes on the paved areas. Sand goes on dirt. Yep.
Could you tell me what jack of all blades is?
That is for snow blades. And not the big ones, Fletcher. So on the trucks, there's two sets of blades. And then on the very bottom of the main blades, there's like this piece that wears out. That's the piece that touches the ground all the time. So those are the ones that are getting replaced.
Good.
Payroll warrant dated January 23rd, 2026, in the amount of $22,705.24. There was some overtime. So 92 hours of overtime in 2 weeks, which equates to about 40 hours a week, 41 to be exact. So overtime costs $3,516.30.
And that was all for roads.
Roads and sidewalks. Gotta maintain those sidewalks.
Yep. I've been out of town for a couple weeks, so I didn't know quite how much it snowed here.
It's just,
We had snow and then spring and then snow.
We haven't had any spring.
Yeah, we
Just-
did. One day I was back in town and it was mud season.
Alright, everybody good with those?
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town managers report.
I don't have one.
No?
I have one, but it's on my computer screen,
Sounds good.
so I'm passing on that one.
Okay, boards, committees, and commissions.
Hang on a minute though. Can I, make, not too fast, Mr. Chair. Reminder from town clerk that local office election petitions are due by 5 PM on Monday, January 26th. I also have a fire department report. So total calls since, December 8th, so this is December 9th through January 19th. 44 calls, 24 EMS, 5 automatic fire alarms, 2 good intent, 2 lift assist, 2 fire emergencies. Agency assist 1, mutual aid 1 to Brattleboro. Motor vehicle accident 3, and service call 4. Training, they reviewed standard operating guidelines, reviewed driving fire apparatus and responding in your own personal vehicles. Chimney fire review, 4 members tested for firefighter 1 on January 18th. They passed their practical stations and are awaiting written exam results. 1 other member will be testing for firefighter 1 in a couple weeks. If anybody missed the Facebook post from the Putney Fire Association, Kyle Brennan, Riley Morse, Alex Fitch, and Logan Sears all passed their firefighter 1 certifications.
yeah,
So I just want to say congratulations. Thank you for taking the commitment and the time, because it's quite a few hours to do the certification. So I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing, because it's amazing what I'm seeing. I never saw this before, and now I'm seeing certifications come across my desk that go into their employee files, but they're doing FEMA trainings, different modules. So I think that's a plus for any person that's in emergency services. And yeah, I'm seeing some amazing stuff happening right now. And also, a few of these guys are gonna be going into the firefighter 2 class in February. There's 5 members going into firefighter 2. So for a state that does not require certifications for firefighters, they probably need to be looking at that, the state, and, determining, this is a career for some people, and, our department's not any different. We are a town department. People come, they train, and some of them move on to a career department, which is, I think, is great. So,
Karen, do they get paid differently depending on what their certification is?
yes. Which I'm gonna have to revisit that.
Because you're gonna have to revisit the budget or how we.
Oh, no, it's, the budget is a budget.
Yeah,
If somebody's going on a certification, then it is a bump up in their, status.
right.
So they will get a increase. It may not be, huge, but it's something.
But so when you say revisit it, what are you revisiting? The rate of reimbursement for them or the?
Not just, so in January 1st, we just had an increase.
Uh-huh,
So, and these guys just came through, so I have to revisit
yeah,
and bump them up.
Yeah. Great.
So, yeah. What else? So 5 members will be attending ice rescue technician training, 2 will be attending ice operations training, and 1 will attend the awareness training. So, advanced EMT Billy Strauss attended pre-hospital trauma life support training course. Again, a lot of training going on. So maintenance, they perform weekly and monthly apparatus and equipment checks, change the oil in the generators and portable pumps, work in progress, reviewing, revising standard operating guidelines and standard operating procedures, reviewing potential fire trainings from outside instructors for their members to attend, and events accomplishments. Putney Fire and Rescue, Putney Fire Association had a holiday dinner for all members and their families on January 17th. And firefighter Kemp Wagenbach became nationally certified as an EMT as well. He has been offered a full-time position with the Brattleboro Fire Department and will begin on March 2nd. And he will maintain his status here in Putney as well. So this is, the result of having properly trained responders. So that is the report of the fire department.
good news.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, now I'm good now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Boards, committees, and commissions. Planning Commission status update. Report, Sue Coakley.
Good evening, all. This is my monthly report for the Planning Commission. There's a number of topics. I will touch on them briefly. How much time do I have, Chair?
10 minutes?
Okay,
Keep it
10
5,
minutes.
that's great.
okay. Zoning bylaw modernization project continues. There's still detailed review. It turns out to be a challenge to get the document completely reformatted, and I'm accessing AI tools to help me do it. So we'll be done this in early February, I believe, to send something to the attorney. Stage 2, forest block preservation, that will follow stage 1, but I did put my hand up for the town to possibly participate in a state of Vermont municipal climate planning guides pilot program that includes the development of best practices for municipal policies in land use. And we have a number of them. And the idea is that I'm asking for their assistance to help us develop forest block preservation policy. That could be a model for the rest of the state. This fits with our goals for research and development of something that would be supported not only by one town, but what other towns would do. At least be a model for them. So I have an interview with them on Friday to talk about Putney, and we'll see if we could be part of that pilot. I've been looking for funding and technical assistance for stage 2, and we'll see if we're able to participate in that, and if it will provide what we need and want. I need to find out too. But we were selected for an interview, so that's great. You heard about the zoning administrator nomination, so that was a project that we undertook this month, beginning at the end of December. The Comprehensive Village Plan project is moving forward. We have issued an RFP for a consultant. Proposals are due on Friday. We have a contractor selection committee, and I've just proposed process and schedule so that we can select somebody by the end of February, hopefully mid-February. We'll begin the project in March or April, depending on consultant availability. So that's going on schedule. And I would say that the participants on the advisory committee are very interested and excited in offering their help in a lot of ways, which is really nice to see this project. Putney Landing, walkway design and construction. Pip Bannister and I have been part of the consultant selection or the contractor selection committee for a firm to do construction management for the design and construction of the walkway. We have invited a proposal from GPI Energy, from VTrans contractor at a glance, pre-qualified contractor list, and had a discussion back and forth with them of that, and they have sent us a final proposal to do that, to serve that role, and we are seeking ways to make sure the project will be done on time and on budget. They believe it could be done this year. I was very happy to hear that. But a challenge for all of us is that construction costs and associated design costs are quite variable. The market is very volatile right now on those costs. We had a brief discussion about if those costs are coming in very high, are there ways that we might solicit from the community or the town donated labor or materials? So it's not that big a project, it's $116,000, but any cost increase could be hard for us to afford. So we're already thinking about if it comes in higher. The proposal from these guys is good, but the bigger part is the construction and design. So there are a number of ways to manage it, but we're working with the town manager to think about how do we get it done this year on budget. So, next thing I want to talk about, I spoke at my last report about the high-low bid 5 megawatt energy storage battery project and how the town might participate in that process. I have gone ahead and created an a Public Utility Commission account so that I can access their documents. I've signed up as a subscriber for this case. I'll receive the information. I've requested information from the PUC about the process and the procedural schedule, for example, which is not yet posted, and how the town can apply to be an interested party in the process. And I will be hopefully receiving a response to that soon. If not, I'll be following up. And I may consider asking another former member of the Planning Commission who worked on the Enhanced Energy Plan before he left the Planning Commission. That would be Robin Ekstrom, to see if perhaps he might be interested to review this process with me. But it is possible for a town Planning Commission chair, select board, or town manager to represent the town. So that was one of the questions asked of me. So we can, and I'm doing it at the moment. So that's my update. Town plan implementation tracking. I have finally provided something to you on that. In the appendix here, I've given you a thought on how we might track the implementation plan of the town plan. I did try to search to find out what other towns are doing and really didn't learn very much. Mostly people talk about it as an item in the annual report, but not as a specific item about the town plan. So I have proposed that we have a summary report for each chapter that would talk about actions, percent of actions completed relative to what was in the plan, what are key achievements, what are recommendations to move forward. And that's tied to a more detailed report that would look at each action for each chapter. So some chapters have 7 actions, some have 15. So it varies. There's about something 80 to 90 total actions. But the summary report would provide a quick look at it. Before I dug into doing this, I wanted to see if something like this would be useful to you. It could be that a graphical way will emerge to present this, but you have to do the data review. And I would propose that the Planning Commission in consultation with those other entities that are assigned tasks, like the Conservation Commission, Town Manager, would contribute to the report, but the Planning Commission would lead it. But we would consult with those who are otherwise responsible to make sure that we understand clearly where those tasks are and what's next and what's needed. So that's my proposal for how we might do it, and welcome comments or suggestions should you have any. I have 2 minutes left. So at some point you might choose to give me feedback. And I wanted to note that the Planning Commission will have an open position come town meeting. Andrew Morrison is not renewing his role on the Planning Commission. He will offer to work on the advisory committee for the stage 2 of the zoning bylaw project of forest block preservation, which would be great. He'd be a great value, so I'm thanking him. He has served 9 years the town, and I think it's appropriate to appreciate that. And I wanted to, it's the select board's job to recognize people. And I wondered if at town meeting there could be some recognition and appreciation of him. I don't know if that's something you do as a culture, but I would recommend appreciation. And welcoming him to serve on the advisory committee for stage 2 of the ZBM project. And we need to then find someone else to fill that role. In my report, I provide a list of terms by stagger, by 3 years, so you can see what we need. And I think to maintain our 3-year staggered terms, we could have somebody who would serve 1 year or 3 years. We have a number of people whose terms are up in 28, so I would not recommend a 2-year term, but a 1 or 3 year term, depending on who we find. In my packet, I've also provided to you an updated information piece about the Planning Commission and the role of what to do, and provides a project schedule and other information that could be used as handout material. Again, it's really up to the select board to appoint planning commissioners, but I thought it would be helpful if we did some recruitment, or tried to, at the upcoming VCRD meeting, as well as at town meeting. And do some direct outreach if anybody has suggestions of people. It has been great to have somebody with a forestry background on the Planning Commission. I think that's been really helpful, and would welcome that. And I'm personally thinking about that, and asked Andrew if he had ideas about people that could do that. Finally, I have my updated project schedule for the next 12 months. 10 minutes.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah, so I think we try to recognize people. I guess the question is whether one of us, and again, I will not be there. One of you 4 will remember to do that. But I'll say publicly thank you right now for his service. He's been instrumental in the town plan. I know that the forest blocks, that's one of his passion projects. So I thank you for continuing being agreeable to continue to serve even though you're coming off. That's great.
Does one of us want to take the initiative to make sure that happens at town meeting if we want that to happen?
I can do that.
Cool.
Greg's, I'd be glad to help you have information.
Great, I'll write it on my hand and
There you
then.
go.
And
Don't
I,
wash the hands before town.
until town meeting.
You might be able to install a chip.
And I love the town plan tracking report idea. I think that's essential. I mean, that's super helpful for all of us, for us and for the town in general. Everybody puts so much energy into that. I think it's important to keep tracking it.
Well, and there's good progress. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a good news story,
Yeah.
really, for the town. A lot of
Yeah.
things are moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's good for us to see that and then talk about what's needed. Okay, any other feedback? Otherwise, I will.
I would like to talk with you offline about the program that you got to go to and I didn't manage to go to.
That's right. I'll just
Something.
mention what that is. There was a municipal leaders program that BDCC put on as part of the South Vermont economic development project, and it was on economic development for every town. And Karen and Eileen and I were all going to go.
Yeah.
And there were 3 breakout sessions, and I could only go to one. So I went to the one on economic development because it was a special opportunity to learn about that, and I've signed up for all the webinars on the CHIPS program, which is about how to fund incremental development. So I will be learning about that. But I will say that the takeaway for me from that meeting is that our comprehensive village plan can provide some really good information to inform the development of an economic development plan for Putney. And I think we can just continue, and we, off the town plan and SEVED's process and all of that, I think it would not be hard for us to have an economic development plan as a follow-on to the comprehensive village plan. So I'll try to orient what we do there to feed that as much as possible. And I think it's a good next step to implement some of the recommendations that will come out of the comprehensive village plan. We have a great committee, really very exciting committee. So, thank you for mentioning that. We missed you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to go. I was trying, but it just didn't work out in the end.
Okay, moving on. Equity and inclusion.
Hi. Lisa is there as well, and we're reading 2 statements today. And I can start. So January is Poverty in America, Poverty Awareness Month, sorry. And Marion Major, who I actually don't know her role at Wyndham and Windsor. Does anyone know her title at Wyndham and Windsor?
No, I want to say it was outreach coordinator or something like that, but I don't know.
Anyways, a local leader in a local organization that has a lot of impact for those that are impoverished, specifically with housing, Wyndham and Windsor Housing, wrote this statement for recognizing Poverty in America Awareness Month. January is Poverty in America Awareness Month. We see the impacts of poverty permeate through all communities in Southeast Vermont, with Putney being no exception. We know that economic stability is one of the main social detriments of health, meaning poverty, a lack of food security, unstable housing, or homelessness are all significantly impactful to a person's health in the short and long term. In life and in our work with Wyndham and Windsor Housing Trust, we see the impacts of generational poverty from our backwoods to our downtowns, with families struggling to afford heat, adequate food, repair critical issues in their homes, or secure a stable home that doesn't consume over 30% of their household income. We also see Putney rising to address these systemic failures with care and intention through both official groups and organizations, as well as the community at large, identifying problems and bringing solutions. In a time when critical resources meant to address these systemic issues are being stripped away, we find the rapidly and growing need for coordinated and intentional problem solving is absolutely essential to community stability. In 2026, it's of the utmost important that we recognize the impact poverty has in our community and define what we as individuals can do to create a future that is grounded in stability, where basic needs are truly met. So just recognizing that while one may not feel poverty directly near them, there is a growing number of people in our community that are. And any ways that you can get involved, or either with fiscal support or sweat, getting out there and volunteering at the food shelf or other organizations in Brattleboro, contribute, or even just learn a little bit about how poverty affects everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lisa's going to read our second statement.
I'm here to speak about Holocaust Remembrance Day. I've had a special friend since 1966, when I was 15. She was born in 1931 and is 20 years older than me. She is now 94. She was born in the Netherlands and was in her early teens when Germany occupied her country. Her father removed the family from their home in The Hague to their small houseboat on a lake in the country. There they spent the duration of the war. He was a gin distributor. Every day he would put 2 bottles of gin in his saddlebags and ride out into the country on his bike. He would come back with something to eat. She said, sometimes we had nothing to eat but butter, nothing to eat but bacon, nothing to eat but broccoli. She doesn't like broccoli. While acknowledging how unusual this was, she remarked that he made us feel safe. Her grandfather died of starvation in The Hague during the winter of the Great Hunger, when Germany was losing the war and the occupying forces took everything there was to eat. When she was still in school, she noticed, upon looking back, that some children, friends, just stopped showing up, never to be seen again. She came to realize that they were Jewish children. In the country, she told of one man who was unmistakably Jewish that clopped around ostentatiously in wooden clogs to ensure that he would be perceived as Dutch. She said he lasted the duration of the war and that no one turned him in. After the war, when she reached university age, her father sent her to university in Vancouver, Canada, where they had friends. He did not trust Russia and had no confidence in the future in Europe. Listening to stories, real stories, from people near to us, people we know, can prepare us.
Thank you, Lisa. The only thing I'll add is just bringing that into present time a bit, of listening to stories of people that are experiencing things that for them are feeling as scary as the Holocaust felt for others in that time. So keep your ears out for your friends, for your beloveds, for yourself, if you're feeling as scared as people were then. And the date is the 27th of January, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright. Select board new business. State voter checklist resolution and adoption.
So Jeanette came to us last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Feels like last week. And we agreed to put it on the warning for for town meeting, but also she requested that the select board adopt it on our own. Should we read it? Should I read it? Okay, I'll read it. Shall the voters of Putney vote to approve the following let's do that part. Whereas Vermont's elections are overseen by our capable town clerks and the chief election officer / secretary of state. Our elections are safe, secure, and carried out with integrity. And whereas the current federal administration has made attempts to put restrictions on our elections and has demanded that Vermont turn over its complete voter checklist to the federal government, and whereas the U.S. Constitution gives states the authority to conduct elections and gives the power to change election laws only to Congress, Article 1, Section 4, and whereas Vermont law specifically prohibits sharing voter data with the federal government, 17 VSA Section 2154, and whereas the federal government has demanded that Secretary of State Sarah Copeland Hanses, who is also the state's chief elections officer, turn over the state's complete voter checklist, including the protected private information, and whereas the non-public portion of the state voter checklist contains private information on voters, and whereas Secretary of State has refused, citing Vermont law and the U.S. Constitution, and whereas the federal government is choosing to sue the state of Vermont and the Secretary of State, and whereas Governor Phil Scott has given his support to the Secretary of State's decision to withhold the lists, therefore be it resolved that the Select Board add their support to the Secretary of State in refusing to turn over the voter checklist, thus following Vermont law and protecting the privacy of our residents. I make a motion to adopt it.
But you want to take it first, the resolution, and then our signature as a select board, because they're two different things, right?
What's that?
Shall we do first the resolution and then do whether or not we want to sign it as a select board?
I don't understand the question.
I think we've already added the resolution to the warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already
Decide
agreed to do that.
Our task is to adopt it.
Oh,
as
I
a
thought we
select
had to we had to do that but I guess we didn't have to warn that. Yeah.
Well, we did it last.
Well, we haven't, I mean, we haven't warned the town meeting the warning yet, but we agreed last week that we would add it to the warning. So we voted on that already, so when we adopt the warning, it will be on the
Okay,
warning.
got
it.
But this
Yeah.
is the select board adopting it as our own.
Okay, got it. Then I'll second it.
Yeah, any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, select board old business, Putney Gun Club. Dana Keats, is he out in the hallway?
Somebody's
I
talking in the
think,
hallway, is that?
yeah, I think he might be in the hallway. Maybe he left. Hey, folks. Hi. Mia. Hey, John. Come in here. It's your turn. Yeah.
So you guys got some questions?
Yeah, what are you guys up to now?
Tell us a little bit about what's going on up there.
Well, we do some shooting inside the indoor range. Had a match that was there not too long ago. Not a whole lot. Since the pandemic, there's dwindling membership. So kind of struggling with that a little bit, but the place is being used occasionally.
Do you still do the hunter safety course out
We're looking for an instructor. The instructor that we had moved away, and we don't have an instructor to put on the hunter safety course anymore. So, I mean, with the dwindling membership, that's kind of part of it.
We were told that there's a report that's gonna go in the town report from the gun club.
Yeah.
We were gonna look at that today. Do you have that? Does somebody have that we can?
I don't have the report.
It's,
It was just a paragraph about, basically.
Basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not lighting the world on fire, but we're still up there, quiet.
What's the requirements for membership?
You gotta exhibit safe gun handling and have a background check.
Okay. But you don't run the class, so people wouldn't be able to take the class for you to become a membership.
Correct. Has to be done somewhere else.
How many members do you have right now?
That's really famous.
I think we're about 12. When I took over was 2020, I think, right before the pandemic. We had 35.
Do we know what the assessed value of the property is?
Now, I almost recommend that the board do a site visit. Look at the building.
Well, we're voting on the article today, right?
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder if you could give us a rationale for why it should be exempt from municipal taxes at this point. And I know in the past, we've talked about the gun safety stuff as an educational thing. And that was kind of the main argument, I remember at town meeting previously. So I just wonder what's your rationale for asking for a municipal exemption, tax exemption?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to offer a response to that, I guess. It's like not any much different than it has been all these years, so. that rationale. I mean, the hunter safety thing, I'd love to get a member that's, certified to offer that, definitely. And we're looking for people to do that. It's kind of not a huge demand for it right now locally.
What would happen if it did not fall under, what would happen if it became non-exempt?
You'd probably get it back in a tax sale. Or somebody would get it. The club definitely doesn't have the ability to pay tax on it at this point.
What are membership fees?
$70 a year for a key holder, $35 for a associate with a key holder, like children or whatever.
So how do you market the gun club?
Just got a Facebook page. It's pretty defunct. Not a lot. Since the pandemic, a lot of us have the jobs that require 60, 70-hour weeks. So
Right.
it's like we're struggling to make the time to be there too. So
Are there other gun clubs in the area?
closest indoor range I think is in Springfield, Vermont. So it does have some,
Yeah.
value that way as a small gun range.
Can I add
Indoor.
something, Kim?
Absolutely.
State your name.
Josh Emon, Vice President. We've also opened up for a few other meetings. VCRD met there a couple of times. In the upstairs, non-shooting related stuff, but we have the space, so we open it up for them. It is an available spot in the community. If somebody wants to use the space, they can just ask. Non-gun related, have a meeting there, have a picnic there. We've got property. It is not solely gun related stuff. I mean, that is the idea, but we're certainly open to people using it. I mean, that's kind of a valuable thing for the community.
Question. So what condition is the building in? Do you have like heat?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, the range is heated with a conventional furnace. The upstairs gets some of that heat, but it also is a wood stove.
Running water, sewer,
No,
okay.
There's a well on the property, but it's never been used that I'm aware of.
Yeah, Green Mountain Well dug it several years ago. I asked Ed Stromberg not too long ago if we needed him to, if he could show us exactly where it was and any pertinent information. He said he could. But we don't have any plans for doing anything with it immediately.
So it makes it tough to be a public building
yeah.
without septic. Although I do know another building in town that uses theirs regularly without septic. So, yeah, some challenges for sure.
Yeah, membership is way down. People are very busy. When Dan first took it over as president, we had a lot of people in there. People were bringing their kids, they were shooting, and right now everybody is just working to pay their mortgages and not a lot of recreation, unfortunately.
Right. It could be a recreational asset, or continue to be, with some help.
How much land is there?
I can tell you exactly what it is. How many?
Just under an acre,
Just under an acre.
something like a 9/10 or something like that, I believe.
So I guess if you can grant us a tax exemption for another year or 2 or 3 or whatever the time frame is, maybe we can boot ourselves in the butt and try to build it up a little more.
It sounds
We have
like,
made
yeah.
quite a few improvements in the 2 years. I think we
did some
replaced
major
the
work in there.
main beam in the building was all rotted, and we replaced that, and we built a set of stairs on the outside, like, that's probably 5 years ago now. Plugging along, trying to make it safe and
Putting a metal roof on the upper building about 10 years ago.
Well, you're on the warning as a 1 year. So I would say that sort of notice you're gonna have to come back in a year, and maybe if you can make a little progress, there's no guarantees about next year.
right. Well, I didn't expect it to be. And, you know, I think the economy settling down a little bit, and the people freeing up some of their recreation time, that'll get people involved again. Or maybe we'll get some more members, be able to keep the lights on and heat going.
Does law enforcement ever use it as a range?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
It's only for small
Jim?
caliber, is that right?
Yeah, it's 22 only, so, or air rifle. They tend to have bigger, more powerful.
Yeah.
We've had a few people in there with bow and arrow too. Some nice indoor archery. Set up a target. We're about 30 yards. Keep the muscles working in the off season. You don't want to stand out in the cold. We have a couple of bow shooters that do that.
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
There's some,
Oh, there's a couple hands.
Laura, go ahead.
A while back, I attended a meeting there, and I appreciate the use of the space. I'm curious how many meetings have been hosted since the last time the town voted on an exemption for this. I think what I would like to see is more information before we vote on this as a town. So I suggest coming back with what you're trying to do to recruit, because I just went and looked at your Facebook page. Your last post was in 2024. And the last time we had this, I'm not trying to be hard on y'all. I actually feel fairly supportive of this, even though it seems like it's dwindling. I know you're working on it, but I think you're going to have to bring more to town meeting than what you're bringing here right now. So, and that's said in a friendly way to you. I suggest coming up with a plan of what you're trying to do in the coming year to recruit people, how you are going to try and bring education into the space, and how you are advertising to the community that they can use this space.
One taken. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
All right, moving on. Town meeting warning review.
see ya.
We just did Article 8.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So in your packet, I don't know which version you have. Do you have the version that says legal review? Yes, you do. Okay. So back on January 10th, I sent the board draft number 3 with some questions in an email. And I sent the same email to Larry. Larry came back with his comments today. I have revised the town warning based on his comments and conversations I've been having with Eileen. So the version in your packet is gonna look different. Sorry.
The version
In your packet is,
different than what you have.
no, what I sent back on January 10th.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, got it.
Okay, this is the current version right now we're gonna work from,
Okay.
based on Larry's review.
Recommendation.
Eileen, you have Larry's comments
Yes.
in a packet, and you have draft number 3 in a packet.
I have, the one that has a date of 1/21/26. That's the one we're talking about?
January 3rd, draft 3, sorry.
This doesn't have the draft on it, it just says
Legal
1/26.
Oh, that's the legal review then, okay. I'd have to look at it.
Okay.
So anyways,
So nobody else has Larry's comments, I haven't.
you're the only one with Larry's comments.
So I'll just go through what Larry said. We were talking about maybe going Australian ballot for the first few, I think it was 4 through 6 or something like that. Larry squashed that. He said we can't do that without going to town meeting. Basically, Putney is a floor vote town for all matters, except for the election of town offices. If we wish to vote on budgets or public questions by Australian ballot, we have to place an article on the warning to change the method, and it wouldn't take place until next year, or I assume the next meeting if we have a special meeting. Non-binding advisory articles, the select board has discretion whether to include them. Non-binding advisory articles should not be voted on unless the select board is willing to follow the quote-unquote advice of the voters. It can be frustrating to voters to vote on an issue at town meeting and later have the board decline the advice. And then he also says that Putney has a long history of political activism, and it has been common for us to add resolutions regarding political issues. The proposed resolution opposing the government's attempt to require the state to turn over all voting checklists follows our culture, basically, is what he said. Warning articles, my review is as follows. Article 1, no change. Article 2, no change. Article 3, no change. To hear the reports of the town officers. Note the non-binding advisory portion should be moved to the very last section. 4, no change. 5, that he says we are the opinion that Article 5 can be deleted. That was the one that was
To purchase
the
truck.
the
purchase
highway
the
truck.
truck.
Wait,
yeah,
It's not number 5 on ours.
that's not number
That's
5.
because she adjusted it after we get it.
right.
Don't get
Okay.
confused.
So what,
So what is?
which,
It was for the highway truck for
Truck, okay.
$200,000.
Yeah, I think we had 2.
And there's a 1-ton dump truck for $130,000.
should we take his recommendations one at a time and address them as opposed to just reading through them all? Like that recommendation, can we stop here and look at that and decide if we're gonna take that one off?
Well, it's not in that version.
Oh, because you already took it off.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
never mind, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. We can add it back in,
No,
but I
no.
kind of like it.
I think it's great,
It
I
makes
liked
us-
it too, I
Yeah.
liked the idea. of doing
Article
that.
6 is again the same kind of thing. We're not, select boards have expressed statutory authority to make the expenditure. This would confuse the issue if the town says no.
Right. Right.
It says be transparent by explaining it in the select board report. I
Which
think
it
it is the
did.
town report, okay.
Yep.
So Article 7, the article should follow
Well,
Article 8.
tell us what it is,
It doesn't
we
say
don't
on here.
know, okay.
It's
It's
the
really hard
articles-
for us to follow this because
We don't have
the
the
numbers
version.
we have don't match what you're reading. So
Article-
you can remind us what he's referring to.
Article 7 was, yeah, well, I think we're gonna need the other one.
Because we have the yellow barn.
Can I just
Yeah.
intervene here?
I have the other. This is the January 10th. I
There you
have it.
go.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
I have it. Article 7 was the general fund expenditures. And Article 8 was,
The food shelf.
Article 8 on here is the personal property taxes. So this is not the version.
I'm troubled by the order of those. I mean, once we've said how much we're gonna raise by taxation, we then raise another We have another article raising money by taxation.
He says, if this article is passed, you do not have to alter the general fund amount. Special articles such as this do increase the amount to be raised by taxation, which will increase the tax rate. All special articles have that effect unless they already have a line item in the general fund. The article cannot bind future select board action, so the provision providing for the appropriation for a period of 5 years. I don't know what he's talking about now.
So basically, the 1% that the Putney Food Shelf is asking for is a separate article. It falls behind the general fund article.
I don't see how we can do that. We're giving the town a total of amount to be raised by taxation, and then we're giving them another article that raises something by taxation.
It raises the tax rate.
I understand that, but I think you've already locked it with your prior article. That's the problem. Procedurally, if you don't have the little ones building up to the big one is locked. You've just, in my copy here, Article 5, you've established the tax, the amount to be raised by taxation. And then Article 6 for the food security adds money to that. And I think it's effectively amending an article that's already been adopted.
If the voters voted in, you have to change that.
Yeah, I mean,
What does Larry say?
Larry's
That's exactly what he's
recommendation
addressed.
is that article that we vote on the general fund first, and that we vote on the other ones,
The food shelf.
food shelf second. And he's saying that it's that you do not have to alter the general fund amount. That special articles such as this do increase the amount to be raised by taxation, which will increase the tax rate. He says all special articles have that effect unless they are already a line item in the general fund. So he's of the opinion that it should go the other way around. And I'm inclined to follow our town attorney's suggestion.
I'm inclined to follow the League of Cities and Towns, which said to me at the moderators meeting a few years ago exactly the opposite. That if you have a money article that basically changes the total to be raised by taxation approved by the prior article, it's out of order. Because that amount's already been adopted and locked.
But wouldn't it not work if we did, like, the math? If we have the 1% and they vote not to do it, the number will change. So they're agreeing on A and then we're adding B.
If we don't, like, if you look at 5 and 6, if we didn't adopt 6, the number in 5 wouldn't change. But if we did adopt, if we reverse the order of them, we adopt and the town meeting adopts Article 6, the food security article, then the general fund article has to be amended to include that money.
Yeah, but then you're putting it in there twice.
Then you're doing what?
You're putting that number in there twice.
How so? We don't already have a 1% line item in our budget.
So if you're voting, so basically you have to raise that 20,000 by taxation, right? So that will be, your tax rate's gonna go up to cover that $20,000.
Exactly. And so you gotta do that before you then adopt the big article that sets the tax rate.
I've never done it like that.
Yeah,
But
we've
we're
never
not,
done it that way.
the tax rate is not included in there.
No,
It's not the tax rate, it's the
No.
budget.
it's the budget, yeah.
It's
Right.
true, but the dollar figure determines what the tax rate will be. If you haven't put the total of the money you're trying to raise by taxation into that dollar figure, that $2,021,000, you don't have a way to raise it with taxes. You've already adopted your tax figure.
Well, of course you can
This is
raise
exactly
that.
the problem we ran into last year when Doug Grant moved to amend the.
Yeah, but
you
we
wanted to add
show
something.
it in the budget, right? As a
You
voted,
show the 1% as a line item.
no, not that,
That's the
no.
problem. That's
No.
the $2 million doesn't include the 1%.
But you're gonna raise it by taxation after it's voted on. So
You're amending the general article when you do that.
I'm not, though. We're not.
Well, then you're stuck at $2,021,000. Where are you gonna get the 20 for the food shelf?
Because it's gonna raise the actual tax rate to cover the 20,000.
That's
Right,
that's
because
right.
I
So
see what
it's
you're
gonna
saying,
be
because you
2,040,000.
If you
It's an
add
after.
it into the, if you add that number into the budget, then you can't use the budget as the base for the 1%. Like,
Right.
right? Because
Right,
it's
it
already in the
changes-
budget. So you have
It
to be
changes
able
that,
to,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotta be a
Because it's
fixed
based off that
number.
number, otherwise we
So
wouldn't have
that
it.
because it will be in
2,021,021
twice. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
is
So-
the number.
Because of the way that because it's the general, it's 1% of the
Yeah.
general fund,
Right,
which we haven't
exactly.
voted on yet, so we can't, so it should go the other way. I
So
agree.
instead of like 1 cent on the tax rate, it'll be like 1.5.
No, it wouldn't be that much. Because you're talking about then
I don't wanna
a
get
difference
like
of
detailed,
1% of the 1%.
but it comes after
Yeah.
in the tax rate
Makes
adjustment.
sense.
And it will show in the budget. But when we raise that money, it'll be in that top line, that first line item, raised by taxation.
I think you've got a procedural problem. I think you're amending an article that's already closed.
Well, I think
I
maybe
think,
Fletcher should have a conversation with Larry
That wouldn't be a bad idea, then you can.
and just, because I don't want to debate it.
I mean, Larry's given his opinion, I think, it sounds to me like the majority of the board is on board with what he's saying, so I think we should move on.
I just think somebody should be ready to answer to the voters who are gonna have the same question.
Okay, well,
So-
I'm happy to be there. So.
Like over here.
He's saying that.
Good luck. So where were we? Article 7, which was now Article 8, was no change.
Can you tell us what it was about? So
Article 7. No. So
the
first of all,
article
Article
about
6.
Yellow
well,
Barn.
okay,
or
first-
whatever.
For the food shelf one, which on this one, that's the 21st, is Article 10, which is the food shelf article. He just made the point that we can't add the period of 5 years, because we can't find future select board action, so that makes sense.
Because we can't find.
We can't find future select board action. So we can only give them 1 year,
Well, how's come we've been able to give the gun club 5 years?
because that's a voted town exemption.
Statute.
Statute, by statute,
Okay.
so, you can give them an extension of up to 5 years, an exemption of up to
Okay.
5 years, that's statute.
Good
Because the state
answer.
of Vermont said so. So Article 7 was, the property taxes.
So can we go back to the food shelf thing?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna take out the 5 years and
Yeah.
just put for
Yes.
1 year.
You don't have any limit,
Right.
no
And
term.
Someone's gonna talk to,
Yeah.
Hannah about that.
Yeah.
I will. I will talk to Hannah about
All
it.
right. It's very confusing. He says Article 8, now Article 7, no change.
And Article 8 now, Article 7 is the Yellow Barn.
Possible to make copies of those for
It'd
both,
be
so all of
real
us.
helpful if you
so
could
we
Yeah,
just
just
say
all
I don't
that.
even know what it is, because the Article 8 it doesn't say. So Article 8 on there is the
Tax payments.
tax
Yeah.
payments.
Where the heck is the Yellow Barn on this thing? I'm also wondering what happened to the social service agencies, the general article. Is that just included in the budget?
That's included in the budget.
Yes.
Okay, so Yellow Barn is this the old or
That's
the
the
new?
old one.
Okay.
That's the one that got sent to Larry. So
Okay,
it-
so Article 9 on that is the Yellow Barn article.
Okay,
And we,
so,
so we've dropped something out up above that changes the order?
yeah, because we, well,
Yeah, 5 and
The
6.
fire
five and
truck.
6.
No, the highway,
Ah,
we have the
okay.
fire truck.
I mean, the highway
That was a good one.
truck.
The 2 trucks.
Well, we dropped out both 4 and 5, have we? The highway truck,
5
And,
and 6 is what this says.
we still got the 130 for capital reserve, highway capital reserve?
We have the highway fund and we have the general fund.
Right, but where there's also the prior one had an article to put 130,000 into the highway capital reserve.
That was to buy the 1 ton, which you have the authority to do that.
Yeah, that was the 2, there were 2 articles to take money out of that reserve.
Correct.
One for the 2 truck, there were 2 articles for 2 trucks,
Oh, I
which we're
see.
taking out.
And it's also, we don't have here the report of the town officers in the old one, and we've put it into, that's why it only moves things 1.
Right.
Okay, we're taking out 2 things, but we're adding in 1. Okay. So,
I tried to shorten it. It is very convoluted, but,
yeah,
I mean, we're at the last hour too, so.
that's when all the, it's usually my motto, if it weren't for the last minute, nothing would ever get done. On the other hand, most of the mistakes get made at the last minute.
Mhm.
Article 5 is now Article 7 here. And that's because we reversed the order of 5 and 6. Why did we change the order of these things so much? Some of this seems to be just editorial, like why is the payment of the installments gets moved?
That was Karen who did that.
Is there a reason it needed to go from 8 to 11?
Yeah, it just didn't make sense where it was, so
Are there other things that Larry said that we should be picking up?
So, yeah, so, is that this,
It's the same thing in your packet.
did you, oh, I had it say, gave you this too. One thing that he said that gave us pause, gave us pause, I guess, was that, we were trying to put the 1% tax into, an economic reserve fund. He said, well, where did he say that?
Is this 6 still?
Oh, no, it's the, well, it's
Article
gone.
10.
So it's the one that, it was the one that, so we were trying to put the local options tax into an economic fund.
Right.
He says local option tax should be used for municipal services only, has the commission of taxes determined that a community economic improvement reserve fund qualifies as a municipal services. I went to look at the statute actually says can only be used for municipal services, comma, not educational services. But I also tried to call the Vermont Department of Taxes, and it was Wednesday, and they don't answer their phone on Wednesdays. So, Karen and I kind of talked about this and decided amongst ourselves that it might be best to just take those out for this year. Because the other thing that Larry kept reiterating was that those had been defeated last year. That had been defeated, the solar had been defeated, the other lot had been defeated. There's no obligation for us not to put it on the warning, but without a clear answer about whether we can put it in an economic fund at this late hour of time, it seemed like maybe we should just take it out and do some more research and put it back on for next year.
Okay.
And I highly recommend that we take a pause. And then after March with a new board, strategic planning retreat, we gotta figure this out. You know, we cannot go in and not have any answers to articles that we're presenting to voters. I also think too, you may see a shift with the state. There is certain, when, one, you have to ask the state if you can even ask for a 1%, which I didn't know that. Two, there's only certain purposes that you can use a local tax for. So,
Well, that was unclear, but
well, I feel like, and this is my opinion, and I would want to do some more due diligence before we go asking again and not being able to explain it. And Meg Mott said the same thing. You know, we struggled last year with these articles, and we need more education on them, what they can be used for, and we also need more public engagement on these types of, you know, asks.
Right. Right. A conversation with our Putney business community.
Right,
At
right.
the events that we're having regularly now would be, I think,
Yes.
a great place to do that.
Yep.
Um,
Also, and I'm gonna say this out loud, advisory committees have to be a must in this next, you know, after March. You know, this is the type of work that you get a committee and you put them on the task to get the data and do the research. You know, this could be like a Landmark College class that could do this stuff. But you have to create the advisory committee. We cannot handle this type of work through my office. It just can't happen. And if we want to do it right, we need to create the committees and get the public engaged.
I support that. Did we also, but two questions I have. But we still have in here the Community Economic Improvement Reserve Fund.
yeah, I think we should take that out too.
Shouldn't we take that out too?
Yes.
So let's take that out. That's Article 10 there.
Yep.
And did we take out the solar thing? Is that
Yes.
gone?
It's gone.
Okay. And that was based on,
Well,
Last
I
year.
am of the opinion that we could probably add that in because it's not that hard. It's pretty straightforward. But I also recognize that, again, I'm not gonna be there. So
right,
you guys wanna
Okay.
argue that one? Fine.
okay,
We
so
can
we'll
put
leave
it back
that one
in,
off
but-
for now and we'll discuss it. Well, I think it
I
falls in
think
the same
Karen
category.
Karen had a good point was that, you know, if we employ New England municipal consultants as our assessors, they are very knowledgeable in the law and on how to tax solar, and they're gonna be able to give us really good, solid advice on how to move forward. And also how much we would stand to make if we did put them on. I think Jordy would make, you know, he makes a good argument that, you know, the NIMIC does it for a living. So if they were to come to town meeting and have, you know, they could really make a good solid argument as to why we should do it. Instead of having a struggle to do it, to explain that.
The other thing too, Larry's comment is that VLCT should create articles, and document how towns can, utilize something like this. So it is a question from VLCT. I don't know if they have a model article or not on this.
For solar.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't think too many towns have exempted all of their solar, so.
Right,
So, I mean, I think we're kind of flying blind here.
yeah.
Most, I mean, by statute, the first 50 kilowatts is exempt.
And that's what
So-
Larry expresses in his statements, his comments, that it is complicated. Some things you can, some you can't, but
Not that complicated. It's 50s, the first 50 is exempt and the rest of it is taxable. I guess I'm not sure where I'm not sure where the confusion lies. Because we have a lister's office and they would be able to figure it out. But I'm not, like I said, I don't feel like arguing this year, so.
I think giving it another year.
Okay, I have another question my other question has to do now with Article 12, which is this Green Mountain Care article.
That is a petition
Right,
article.
a petitioned article. I guess I just want to understand, when you have an article that says, shall the voters of Putney call upon the General Assembly, how does that happen? Do we as a select board then call upon the General Assembly? Did the town manager call upon who calls upon the General Assembly?
So correct me if I'm wrong, because we've had resolutions in the past. The town clerk would send it to the state of Vermont.
This town clerk would send it.
Yeah. So basically, it's the article, and then
They just send
The
it
town
on.
clerk sends it. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just curious,
Yeah.
who did it? you
Yeah.
know? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that language too, Peg, is like, all right, they're calling upon us, or it's like, yeah.
Okay.
That's one of those non-binding or petition
Wait.
articles that we don't necessarily have to have on there, but we have in the
Does it
past.
belong down under the other non-binding?
No.
No.
We
Well,
have
Larry
petition.
Larry
stated
said-
because it's a petition
Okay.
article that has to be up, it's more than a non-binding.
Okay.
It's
because of the
non-binding, but it's
petition.
petition.
I've watched that slideshow. I watched that.
No, I
Training
did too,
you
and
said
I'm
along, and I was still confused, so.
yeah,
You know.
it takes a little bit.
Okay,
And
all right, got it.
So basically.
And so we haven't had, there's nothing about Putney Mountain
So-
came through.
So, we have on here, which is, I don't know why I only have this one, but I have the one that says working on.
You folks do not have that because the language came in after everything was printed.
Okay.
So Eileen will read what she has as a
Um,
non-binding article.
So this is the non-binding article, and the language follows the other non-bindings on here. It says, should the select board sell or transfer the Putney Town Forest, Putney parcel number 060101 containing 49 acres, and Brookline parcel 06002.00 containing 85 acres to the Putney Mountain Association, a 501c3 nonprofit.
So again, non-binding doesn't bind this board to actually take action.
But it invites a conversation to
Yeah.
try to get a sense of,
It kind of gets a sense of the
Yeah.
town, hopefully, we'll get a
Again.
sense of the town, that
yeah.
they want that or they don't want that.
Okay, so are people going to be there to be able to address the questions that are inevitably going to come up when this, will there be?
One hopes. they'll advocate for their article.
They were pretty articulate.
Yeah.
Ann Carey is here from the Conservation
Yeah.
Commission. We can ask Ann if people will be at town meeting to speak on a non-binding article.
My experience at town meetings, if the non-binding articles are put at the very end of the meeting, you
That is
have fewer
correct.
and fewer people there to comment, and this is a very significant issue, I think, in terms of its environmental possibilities, in terms of its fairness, given the record history of the Putney Mountain Association in improving and really making the town forest part of a very popular, God knows how many miles of trails from Dummerston all the way up to Grafton, and the Putney Town Forest has become a keystone piece of that trail system that brings people into this community who may stop at the general store and get some supplies before they go on a 10-mile hike up to the pinnacle. And it's also significant, and that's a big piece of property that the town now owns. And we're talking about conveying it to someone else. And I think it might need, I would rather have more people there myself too, you know, but it is in the non-binding category. The question is,
So I think
we could have I thought petitions led to non-binding. But if
it
you
would
get
still be
enough-
non-binding, because you can't bind this, you can't tell the select board what to do with.
Exactly.
You can't tell us what to do, we can't tell us to do things that are within our statutory power. You guys asked us to put it on the article, on the warning. We have other similar non-binding things to get a sense of the town, so it makes sense that it would go under that.
Okay.
And if we create, what we had in the past, if we create it as an article, then people get confused, that they're voting on something that's binding, and then you get angry if it doesn't happen. So,
Right.
so we're kind of following the advice of our lawyer, putting it in here. As to people leaving before town meeting is over,
They'll have to work
I
on
mean,
that.
I don't know why people leave before town meeting is over. Doesn't,
Because it's like a 10-hour day.
yeah, okay, but you know, I mean,
The good news is we shortened the number of
yeah,
articles.
we have, we've made it
Maybe
very
they'll still
short.
be there.
Exactly. So,
Good point, Fletcher.
yeah, it's actually pretty non-controversial, I think, most of this.
Non-controversial is
We took it
controversy
all
is
out.
what
Find
brings
something.
people to town.
We will definitely find something to be controversial about, but, I think the question though was, will there be people from, Putney Mountain Association and the Conservation Commission to speak to the article?
Oh, yes,
Okay,
of course,
all right.
without a doubt.
I
Whenever.
just want to remind the board too, we have a public informational
Mm-hmm.
session on February 28th at the fire station at 10 a.m. And we will be going over the town warning. So, I mean, we'll get a temperature check anyway on non-binding articles.
Right. And Tom Hinckley will be in town at that time. He's out of town now, which is why he's not here tonight.
Good.
Could you read the first line again of that proposal?
It says, on here, on this version, it says, should the select board, and this is following the same language as the other ones, it says, should the select board. Should the select board sell or transfer the Putney Town Forest, Putney parcel, and then it goes on.
Thank you. Thank you for including that. We appreciate it very much.
So we're taking that out.
But it.
Good job.
Well, did we vote on this? So do you have a clean copy?
There might be one over there, but no, well,
Because we removed the economic fund,
yeah, we're gonna remove Article 10
yeah.
Yeah.
and then everything else is gonna stay. I think I have signature page in that folder. I mean,
It's just a signature page?
yeah, it's on page 4 all by itself,
Good
so I
job.
can make the change. I can make the change.
Alright.
But, so if you're comfortable with this warning, the way it is right now, by taking out Article 10, I mean, you could probably move this warning.
And,
And
adding the Putney Mountain,
Yes, which is already in there on
which is
my
already
version.
what I have.
It'd be
Yeah,
nice to have a clean copy,
it would
everybody
be
can
nice to
see.
have, yeah,
Just-
is it possible for you to print this out, if anyone, please?
like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I have a question. I'm a little confused, having watched the training that Karen turned us onto. Other non-binding for discussion purposes only. So then we would have an A, B, and a C there. The Putney Mountain would become C under non-binding for discussion purposes
Yeah.
only.
That's what we have in here.
Okay, and where's the resolution fit?
Oh, that's a good question.
Isn't that like a,
Hey Karen, we need the resolution one.
right, it's here, but where does
It's not on
it
this
fit
one.
under the warning?
It seems to be the last thing before the signatures.
Right, but then we need A, B, C, and D under other non-binding.
Oh,
Right.
And this needs to be there. I'd like, and maybe we put the C as the fire, as the Putney Mountain.
And then D is the
Everything's
resolution.
fired. Fire truck, just say fire truck. C as the Putney Mountain, and then
D resolution.
D as the election resolution. Then,
Okay, well, she just went to print a clean copy of,
it won't be clean now. Because isn't the resolution also an other non-binding discussion in the same category?
yeah.
These have to be voted on tonight.
Isn't this our last meeting?
Karen said by Monday, because they want to get it out to the printer. I don't know that
Okay,
technically
I'm
it's,
gonna text Hannah quick right now, I'm gonna do this, get it off my to-do list.
what's today?
On the 1st of January.
The first day that it can be warned is tomorrow.
Well, look at us.
Karen's trying to get it into the town report, that's why she wants it done today. That's printing?
it sounds hopeful.
It's okay.
It sounds like a copy.
Sounds like a washing machine. What do we have here? What did you just take?
That's trash.
You took like your favorite thing, like you can't have that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But while you were gone, we discussed something else. But we.
The resolution, right?
Yes.
Why is it on there?
No, actually-
Not why it's on there, but it should be a, a D under other non-binding discussions, right?
I don't know, the others aren't really a resolution.
Yeah, this is a resolution that's like, just like,
Yeah, I guess I could.
But from our little training, I think that belongs under here as well. It's a non-binding.
He's educated now, see?
I know.
That was a good training. There was
Yeah.
lots of little images and
Yeah.
cartoons that came on.
Just put a D under D resolution.
The whole thing was Larry didn't make a comment about that, and that's the way.
Larry probably didn't watch the training.
But it doesn't matter, I mean, it doesn't matter, I mean, what do we care whether, in this moment, he did, he said this is in keeping with what you
Yeah.
guys usually do.
We didn't say anything about
This is
format.
what- You know, so it just seems like for clarity's sake, for the town, that it's another non-binding discussion purpose.
Why don't you use, so say D and then what was on her?
It isn't just for discussion, we're gonna take an action. Our town clerk is gonna send this to the legislature.
Yeah.
Well, then it
and
needs to
say
be
that
under
the
an
town-
article.
I think we
I
should,
think
That
right
was not petitioned though.
But that's
No.
okay, we can add things that weren't petitioned, it doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
matter.
that doesn't
No,
change
so,
this.
so if we just added as D, shall the voters of Putney vote to approve the following resolution, and that can be on a separate page.
I'd sort of like to see it come before the other really non-binding things. 'Cause this actually directs the town to take an action. The others are, tell us what you think.
Yeah, they're just opinions.
Yeah.
Feeling the temperature.
Well, I mean, it flows better if we put it this way, because then you have a whole page for the resolution, but, so the point was,
The point was, it has to be here somewhere.
yeah, so the point was, whatever letter we put on it, we could just use this language here, shall the voters approve the following resolution as C or D or B or whatever we want, and then the resolution follows.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, unless we wanna make it an article, which we can do, you know, without significant. But I think it should go as,
I don't have a problem putting it as D for formatting purposes.
yes.
What are we doing?
Making it
Say D, and D shall say, shall the voters of Putney vote to approve the following resolution? And then the resolution is right here, and then we will sign the back of this, and everything will be great, and we can go.
All right, well,
Wait, did you just? Okay,
sure. I'm gonna print the last page without the legal review on it.
Okay.
And you can just sign it
yeah.
with what you just told me. Oh, do I have the wrong one?
You can have mine, Karen. We can.
Yeah, 'cause it's on here too, so I gotta change that page.
Oh.
All right. So, I make the motion to adopt the 2026 warning for annual meeting as printed with the addition of under the non-binding for discussion purposes only, D, shall the voters of the town of Putney, I lost it, what was it? Sorry. I lost it. It was right in front of me until now, oh, sorry, okay. D, shall the voters of Putney vote to approve the following resolution?
Second.
Any discussion, public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
But we can still sign this, right? Because the resolution's gonna be you're just adding one thing on the other page.
Yeah, but I think that's,
You want like the signature page?
do you have a signature page in there? No, of course not. That'd be too easy.
There's a signature, huh?
Yeah, but
It's not.
It's not on its own page.
Okay.
So I'll get, nobody's leaving until I have.
No, we can't leave until we've signed them till morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good with that?
Huh? Did we approve it? Yes.
You did.
Okay.
Well set.
We're doing great, guys.
Next meeting, February 4th, 2026. Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'm going to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Don't forget the BCRD meeting is next week
Yeah.
at Putney Central School,
What day is that?
Thursday.
Thursday.